What is going on, guys, and welcome back to Touchdowns to Home Runs. My name is Bernie. Thank you for joining us today on the Touchdowns to Home Runs show. I hope that your day is going absolutely fantastic. Now, before we get into today's video, I just want to wish you guys all a very, very happy holidays. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all the latest NBA content. Now, today we got a good one. We're going to be breaking down the Golden State Warriors, sort of what I've seen in their first 3 games. We'll be breaking down the box scores, and then at the end of the video, I'll be giving you my thoughts on the outlook for the rest of the season of the Warriors. It should be a good one. Now, I know that the Golden State Warriors are only 3 games into their season. They have a 1-2 record after their win yesterday against the Chicago Bulls. I know they have injuries. Obviously, no Klay Thompson, no Draymond Green at the early part of the season. But I do see one big issue, and that's what we're going to start with. So right now, to start the season, the Warriors, with the injury of Klay Thompson, I've been going sort of with a bigger lineup. We look at no real true shooting guard, 2 small forwards when you look at Oubre and Wiggins. Not a recipe for success. Now, in a normal year, when you have a healthy Klay Thompson, he's the guy who spaces the floor. You have Steph Curry at the point. You have Klay Thompson, a more catch-and-shoot type player. And that's sort of what the Warriors were hoping for to fill the shoes somewhat when we look at a guy like Kelly Oubre. And Kelly Oubre is where all the problems start. If we look at him statistically, 0 for 31 from the field on non-dunk attempts. Let me repeat that. 0 for 31 so far after the first 3 games this season on shots that are not dunk attempts. So from a guy who's supposed to be your floor spacer, you've gotten literally 0 production. And that doesn't only hurt Oubre and what he brings to the table, but it also hurts a guy like Andrew Wiggins, who is taking shots he should not be taking. Andrew Wiggins is a slasher who, for example, in the first game shot 4 for 16. Now, Wiggins is a fantastic scorer. He doesn't do other things well. He doesn't play defense well, but Wiggins is a scorer, and he does it well. For as much as people want to say Andrew Wiggins is a bust, Andrew Wiggins knows how to put the ball in the basket. And first of all, he's taking wrong shots because Oubre can't do anything from the wing. And that's a massive, massive, massive issue. And it puts a lot more pressure on your guys like Steph Curry, but also your, second and first year players that you have at the 4 and 5 positions. Especially when we look at a guy like James Wiseman, who surprisingly has put up probably the second most production on this roster. The fact is that they cannot find that replacement for Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. And I mean, you could say whatever you want. Those are extremely, extremely talented players. But for right now in this season, they do not have Klay Thompson. So if the Warriors do want to make a run, they will need more production out of Oubre or whoever they end up putting in that position. But anyways, let's look at the first game. They opened up the season against the Brooklyn Nets, and you can't knock them for losing this game. They lost 125-99. But, their first and second games against the Nets and the Bucks, against probably, in my opinion, the 2 best, most talented teams in the Eastern Conference. And, I predicted that the Warriors would lose this one injured, Durant, Kyrie, even though we didn't necessarily know what we were going to get from them at the start of the year. The Nets look a lot better this year. Probably, one of the favorites to win the Eastern Conference. You look at, again, as I mentioned before, 4 for 16 from Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins is a slasher. He's taking all the wrong shots right now. Wiseman had a tremendous first game, 19 points. He added 6 rebounds in his 24 minutes. And then obviously Steph Curry, 20 points in 30 minutes. But Steph Curry, again, 2 for 10 from 3. And you see, what floor spacing can do. There's so much more pressure on Steph Curry when you aren't getting the production that Klay Thompson gets you. And that's not even to knock Steph Curry. He's an extremely, extremely, extremely talented player. But it's really, really tough when you have nobody else on the offense and you're a shooter. That's just my opinion sort of on what I saw so far. The bench was all right. Nobody was in double digits. Marquise Chris was their leading guy, 9 points off of the bench. But let's flip over to the Bucks again. Another extremely, extremely tough game. They got demolished this game. Score of 138-99. Now, Bucks were coming off of a loss to the Boston Celtics, but still probably, top 2 team in the Eastern Conference when we look at, guys like Antetokounmpo and Chris Middleton. Wiggins was a little better, 6 for 18 again. Wiggins should not be shooting 18 shots, in my opinion. He put up 12 points. Wiseman, again, 18 points, and Steph Curry, 19 points. Again, the same issues. Middleton popped off that game, 31 points. Yeah, Bucks were tremendous offensively. Middleton shot 6 for 8 from 3, 10 for 15 from the field. But what did you expect? Again, not really a game that you expected the Warriors to win, given the circumstances. And then we have their latest game. Narrowly escaped the Chicago Bulls, score of 129 to 128. Damian Lee had his late three to seal the win for the Warriors. But Wiggins, 19 points. Steph Curry, his best game of the season by far, 36 points. Nobody else on the Warriors starting lineup really did good. Oubre played 30 minutes, shot 3 for 16 from the field. Again, all dunks. Does nothing a wing player is supposed to do. Got some production off the bench. They had 3 players in double digits. So I guess looked a little deeper. But against a Bulls team who, is really similar to a team like the Knicks. I also made a video on them if you want to check that out on the channel. Got a young core. No real superstar yet. Zach LaVine had 33 points. They had 4 players in their starting lineups over 20 points. They got a good young core. 5 really young guys in that starting lineup. The Bulls just aren't there yet. But again, a much needed win for the Golden State Warriors. Now, in terms of their season outlook, it's tough. The Western Conference is tough. But besides, a team like the Lakers and maybe the Clippers, Mavericks, Nuggets, I still think the bottom of the Western Conference is kind of open. But the Warriors have to figure it out, and they have to figure it out fast. A lot of the Western Conference has, teams who aren't necessarily contenders, but are really quality teams. We look at teams like maybe the Suns, who have played fantastic since the bubble last year. The Spurs, DeMar DeRozan has looked absolutely fantastic this year. I think that you don't have too many, teams that are necessarily unbeatable in the Western Conference, but I do think the Western Conference is extremely deep. Even when we look at who the Warriors would have to beat to sneak into in 7-8. But again, we'll see. Maybe, some of the young guys in the Warriors starting lineup, James Wiseman, when they get more experience, but even though he's played well, but if they get more experience playing together, maybe they'll figure it out. I don't know if I see it happening. Klay Thompson won't come back this year, so it will have to be Oubre who steps up, or somebody from their bench. But to be honest, as of right now, I don't see the Warriors making the playoffs. But you guys can let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think of the Golden State Warriors for the rest of the season. If you liked today's video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to Touchdowns to Home Runs for more NBA content just like this. And again, if you did make it to this point in the video, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time.